If you've been diagnosed with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis, this is what it sounds like to be a million miles away. Imagine being a million miles away. Tremfya Kuselkumab, taken by injection, is a prescription medicine for adults with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis who may benefit from taking injections or pills or phototherapy. With Tremfya, clearer skin is possible. In clinical trials, at least 70% of patients saw at least 90% clearer skin at 16 weeks. Results may vary. Tremfya is also indicated for adults with active psoriatic arthritis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Tap this ad to learn more about Tremfya, including important safety information.
Nothing is less inviting than a brown apple. Get yourself an opal apple. Opals are crisp, juicy, naturally non-browning, and non-GMO. Perfect for school lunches and meal prep. Look for sweet, delicious yellow opal apples at a store near you.
Momento Zen ofrecido por IKEA. Encuentren su paz interior, ordenando su ropa interior. Que organizar cada cajón sea como una meditación. Organicen y solucionen su caos diario con un nuevo armario.
Visita IKEA y encuentra la manera de que tu habitación respire paz y armonía y tú también, con buena calidad y buen precio. IKEA, sueña sin medida.
It's gotta be a lol hoop.
It's gotta be a tiny one, right?
Because he does talk about that tiny little hiding clitoris
This
that
cute
she has.
little clitoris.
It's such a cute little clitoris hiding.
Who loves hiding?
So she
cute
has
little clitoris.
such a cute little clitoris hiding.
Who loves hiding?
Welcome to Heaving Bosoms, the podcast where two best friends recap romance novels while entering new worlds and obsessing over authors' notes. Happy Monday, HBs. I don't know if it's just me, but my, when you go into IG and you click the search page, my search page is all either Heated Rivalry and the press tour and HUDCon and all those things, or the sky is falling and people are getting kidnapped from their homes. That's literally it. And I feel like it's really reflective of my current state and coping mechanisms, you know? All right, so although we're on hiatus here on the public feed, we do have new content coming out on Patreon and our Apple Podcast feed. This Friday, for example, we're doing a reading roundup and a general friend catch-up that was so necessary. It's been harder to have friend calls and stuff lately, and so scheduling it for Patreon was such a boon to my week. This week, we're rewinding the calendar to November of 2024 because we wanted a little historical fantasy monster romance as only Ruby Dixon can deliver. Here's part one of our recap of Bull Moon Rising by Ruby Dixon.
Sabrina, I'm a little bit in the doghouse.
Oh God, what'd you do?
So I took the kids to see my brother, and it's a 3.5-hour drive there and back, right?
Okay.
And so between everything that I have on the podcast docket and not downloading kid music before we left and generally being a selfish human, I was not going to give up one ear having my audiobook in it during the 3 hours back. Okay, I understand that I'm a terrible person.
Okay.
But in my defense, they had their own shit in the back. Like Valor had her Tony box and like they had their own music and stuff that they could listen to independently.
Just based on how you're presenting all of this, I suspect I'm going to be on your side. So continue.
I mean, from a hilarity standpoint, maybe, but maybe not in any other way. So at one point, Ember was like, hey, Mom, can you turn on the radio? Because like he was done with whatever he was doing independently. And I was like, great, sure, no problem. And like, I don't know what radio stations there are. I don't live in the in-between of my brother and I, right? So I have nothing pre-schmurgled. And so I just started going through and finding something, and whatever came in, the mostest was what I was sticking with, all right? That's fine.
No.
I thought it was great. We had a great time.
You were focusing on your audio.
No, I had one ear in audiobook. I'm still chatting with them. I'm still listening to the music. It just like nothing really crossed my mind about it, right?
You have conversation while listening to audio?
Yes.
Good Lord. Okay, continue.
It's my ADHD superpower.
Listener, we recently had a conversation. It was when we were recording IAD 8 for Patreon, when I realized that Melody exists on a plane that I cannot fathom regarding listening to things. Mm-hmm. Because I have the opposite. Like I have auditory processing challenges.
Yeah.
As somebody with ADHD. Whereas apparently Melody has auditory processing superpowers.
Right, sometimes.
As far as her ADHD is concerned.
The bottom line is, listener, Sabrina found out that I will often have one earbud in doing podcast or audiobook, and then my headphones on to edit whatever episode is coming out next.
And now you're telling me that you have audiobook going and something on the radio playing.
And answering my kids' questions.
And talking to a human being without staring obsessively at their mouth.
And driving.
I continue.
That's all I know. I'm a monster. Anyway, all of this was fine. I was regulating it fine.
I can't let it go, though. I literally cannot my brain is doing like, just even thinking about it. It's like...
Well, don't get me wrong. Every once in a while, I have to pick up my phone and go back 30 seconds or whatever.
Every once in a while, listener.
And this is, I think now she finally understands how I'm able to read the book so many times.
Oh, that's exactly what's happening here. I understand now.
Yeah.
It just boggles my mind because I can't have words in my head. I can't what do you mean?
She can't be half words head. No.
What do you mean words in earball? When I'm doing something else, like I have to pause what I'm doing to take a note.
Nope.
Meanwhile, Melody is one of those musician people like on the boardwalk that has like the drums going and a cymbal on their head and they're controlling things separately with different fingers and also like foot taps and like when your knees knock together, the cymbals
Am I the
clash.
music man is the question.
Boy, yeah. Meanwhile, I'm the kid that's like square block, square hole, triangle block, square hole, circle block, square hole. It all's going in the same hole.
Fair enough.
Continue.
Anyway, I thought I was regulating everything just fine. And I thought, but sometimes your superpower does bite you in the ass.
Okay.
Because the next day, we were all hanging out at home together, and I just hear this tiny voice walking from one room to another going, I've been a nasty girl. I've been a nasty. I've been a nasty girl. Because Valor is really, like weirdly good at picking up musical phrases. And so for the whole day, I would just get like these eyes from Michael. And I've been a nasty girl.
You're just vibing.
Oh my God, Valor.
I've been a nasty girl.
You're 5. That's inappropriate. But it was me. I did it.
Hang on, though.
I did
like, you did do it. But, like, I just think about, like, all of the things I was singing.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, at a startlingly young age, right? I was, like, this is just a reminder that I am a, young millennial. Old millennial? I don't know what kind of millennial I am. All I know is that I am a millennial.
Sure.
And, like, at a youthful age, I was like, my humps, my lovely lady lumps. Check it out.
Yeah.
It's every generation, right?
I was walking around singing, "You want OPP? Yeah, you know me." I had no idea what that means.
Or like, I just, yeah. It is what it is, man.
It is what it is. And his mom's in Taiwan right now. You know what I mean? So by the time she's back, Valor will probably have forgotten that she's been a nasty girl.
No, what you need to do is gaslight your child.
No, never.
And it is not, the words are not, I am a nasty girl. It's like something else. Either
I just need to rewrite it is what you're saying.
I am a blank girl, or I am a nasty
something else.
And it has to be something that sounds like nasty or sounds like girl.
Yeah.
So that you can be like, oh no, you're saying the lyrics wrong.
Yeah, sweetie, you misheard it. No, that's so mean. I can't do
it. It's I am a nasty
Pearl?
Squirrel?
I am a nasty squirrel.
I am a nasty squirrel.
Nasty squirrel.
or like hasty.
Okay.
I'm a hasty girl.
Yeah, I like that. That.
I think squirrel's my favorite. I do like
think
squirrel.
Squirrel is the best.
I think squirrel is it. Okay, so we have crowdsourced, aka
I phoned a friend. Everything's fine.
We figured out how to fix this. The lyrics are no longer you're just gonna gaslight Valor. It's fine.
No.
Gaslight girl boss gatekeep.
Oh, it's so funny. Anyway, okay. Hey. We have beautiful, wonderful patrons that we're going to thank for being a part of our community and joining our community and just like being the tits overall. Being generally the tits.
You know what? I'm in.
Yeah. I mean, I was just listening to Clean Finish again because I'm a monster and I'm avoiding anxiety. And Larkin does look at Seb at one point and say, "Oh yeah, but your parents are the nuts." And I was like, yeah, that's your version of you're the tits.
See, I can't even hear that. Like, Frank and Beans have so infiltrated my brain that you just said the word nuts, and my first thought was paint nuts.
Paint nuts!
And then milk. Which is like an amalgamation of both that and Bewitching the Boss. But it's officially a Frank and Beans thing, right? Like, from here until... There's no way that they wouldn't, right? Milk.
Never.
But yeah, you said you literally like, you're the nuts. And I was like, paint nuts?
Paint nuts. Okay, I'm so sorry. Patrons, you're the tits. Or the nuts, depending on your preference.
But not the paint nuts.
We do not sign off on that.
We are not
kind of
pro
behavior.
paint nut on this podcast.
That's correct. All right, so hey, thank you and welcome to Brian S. and Sarah F.
Ayana M. and Sarah H.
Sam A.L. and Valerie S.
Jess and Megan B.
Charlie B. and Pam P.
A.L.D. and Laura W. Thank you. We are delighted to have you here. Prepare thyself.
Hell yeah. Strap in and strap on.
It's about to get weird. Milk. Anyway. Milk.
Okay.
Fuck.
Okay, look. We decided that we deserved something nice.
We did.
That's what we did. And so we treated ourselves to a new universe in the Ruby Dixon verse.
This book came out less than a month ago as of recording.
Are you serious? Ooh. I don't feel bad.
Hey,
I'm fine with it.
I fucking needed it this week.
True. So we are reading Bull Moon Rising by the one and only Ruby Dixon.
Which is book 1 in the Royal Artifactual Guild. I have a lot of hopes. I have a lot of dreams. I have a lot of desires.
I have a lot of ships.
I screamed at Larkin Meriden.
Oh, God.
I didn't see it coming. I did not Sherlock Holmes that.
I mean, I kind of did.
I shipped it.
I did.
I did it, but it was purely because I am who I am that I shipped it.
True.
And then it happened.
She made her dreams come true.
I want a Kip book.
Oh, God.
Because there's just so much you can do with all that body writhing.
Oh, man. Listener, one of the characters is called a Slitherskin, and they are a lizard person who, like, carries their house on their back like a shell. Or it is a shell that they carry on their back. And the way they don't talk, the only way that they talk to, like, non-Slitherskins is sign language. And then when they talk to other Slitherskins, they just disrobe and rub their bellies together, and they transfer memories back and forth, and I died.
I did too. There's a lot you can do with that.
I
just need it in my life. By the way, listener, usually when we do an episode, the book's been out for a while. So, like, if you listen and you're like, oh my God, spoil, like, anybody who is here because they just were searching for something about this book.
This is spoiler central.
Stop here. Just go away.
Heaving Bosoms is a recap podcast.
Yes.
So what we do, listener, if you're new here, hey, are you new to Heaving Bosoms? Yeah. Welcome. We fucking love you. If you're a new listener, what we do is we go through books that we read and we tell you scene by scene what happened, and we react to it and we scream about it and we giggle about it.
Don't say scene by scene because we do zippy zap quite a bit.
Okay, that's fair.
We whimsy a lot.
We tell you the important things to us.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the overall plot, I think, most of the time, unless we don't.
Yeah, unless we don't. We do, except when we don't.
Yeah.
So if you're not prepared to be here, Zippy Zach will show you the door.
We love you. Yeah, he will escort you right out.
And now we are zippy zapping to this fucking book.
Okay, so it's a brand new world. And it's like sort of a medieval but magical, used to be magical world kind of situation. Okay.
Have you read the author's note?
No, I have not.
Okay.
I have not. What does it say?
So the author's note, it gives us like a look behind the curtain at the end of the book, how she came up with this world. And she talked about, it was a reference I didn't get, but it was basically like how when she comes up with books, it's like a ball of trash, a sticky ball of trash.
Yes.
And then it just kind of picks up things in the background. And then it turns into book. And so she was talking about like where all of these things, like all of these like ideas came from. And like some of it was documentary. Some of it was like these rabbit holes that she went down. Some of it was like all of these things. And it was just delightful.
Fascinating. I'm going to have to go and read that. Yeah.
Yes, it's wonderful.
Because it does feel like really fresh.
Yeah.
The world.
I agree.
Mean.
Yeah, apparently it's been wiggling around back there in her little brain parts for like 4 or 5 years.
I believe it with the amount of nonsense that's in this. You know what I mean?
This was the shenanigans I needed.
Shenanigans and malarkey, everybody, but also very sincere.
So sincere.
Very sincere.
Granted, I'm in a place, right? For context, listener, we are recording election week, post-election.
Look, we're getting comfort wherever we can get it.
And I'm just saying that because there's some, if I get especially heated about some things that happen in this book, just have that context.
Okay.
I'm in a place this week and I cried a lot in this book.
Same.
Because like, she's like hope and dreams and fighting the patriarchy and the future. I was like,
Aspeth, you're a lot for me right now.
Yeah.
If you've been diagnosed with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis, This is what it sounds like to be a million miles away. Imagine being a million miles away. Tremfya kuselkumab, taken by injection, is a prescription medicine for adults with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis who may benefit from taking injections or pills or phototherapy. With Tremfya, clearer skin is possible. In clinical trials, at least 70% of patients saw at least 90% clearer skin at 16 weeks. Results may vary. Tremfya is also indicated for adults with active psoriatic arthritis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Tap this ad to learn more about Tremfya, including important safety information.
Protein is now at Starbucks, and it's never tasted so good. Try our all-new caramel protein lattes with up to 31 grams of protein and options with no added sugar.
Level up, level up, level up, level up, level up.
Level up your drink at Starbucks.
Momento Zen ofrecido por IKEA. Encuentren su paz interior, ordenando su ropa interior. Que organizar cada cajón sea como una meditación. Organicen y solucionen su caos diario con un nuevo armario.
Visita IKEA y encuentra la manera de que tu habitación respire paz y armonía y tú también, con buena calidad y buen precio. IKEA, sueña sin medida.
Yeah, so this is a world where there used to be magic, except when there were like these Mancer wars 300 years ago, and then the Mancers got killed dead. And so now their only access to magic are through what are called artifacts that are like magically imbued by an old civilization.
I do have a wonder, though, because it is stated in the book that people who have personal magic are killed. But what if they're not?
What if they're not killed? What if they're underground railroading themselves?
In hiding? What if they get taken by the crown? Ooh. What if, like, there's so many options there. And, like, it was just a little snippet, just a little bit of, little seed that was dropped, like, one time in this book. And my brain, like, latched onto it and was like, but what about, Anyway.
Yeah, so she is on her way. She's actually riding in an artifact. It's a carriage. It's a magically imbued carriage. And she's with her lady's maid because Aspeth Honori is what is called a holder's daughter, which is basically like a lord. It's like a fiefdom situation.
Literally where the inspiration is from, according to the author's note.
Yep. So she is in this artifact on her way to Vast Warren City, which meant nothing to me until we got into Old Prell. And then I was like, that's incredible. Because a warren, you know, like a rabbit warren is like an underground tunnel, you know, maze or whatever. Perfect for this city. Anyway.
Caught that.
Vast Warren. So she's going there because she wants to join what is called the Artifactual Guild. And they are the one and only set of folks, set of penises, mostly, as we will learn, that get to go into this old civilization called Prell, which like 1,000 years ago sort of sank into the ground.
So it sank. It buried itself, basically.
It got earthquaked into the undertow.
Yes, and then people realized that you can find those magical artifacts. They still work as long as you have the word of power, blah, blah, blah. And it's an entire society that was based around magical artifact, like magic and things like that. And so some stuff is silly and vapid and cute. Oh my God. One of the fucking things is an endless bowl of olives. And I was like, fuck around. Yeah, bitch. Yeah, no. That would sit on my desk 24/7. I would have acidic mouth burns from how many olives that I put into my gullet.
We would have to figure out your sodium levels somehow.
I just, wouldn't eat any salt in anything else.
And then there's also like a pitcher that never stops pooping onions, which is pretty fun.
I gagged at one point. A character, content warning. At one point, a character eats a fucking raw onion, just chomps into that
like
bitch,
an apple,
like Shrek, and just honk, honk, honk all the way down into that tummy bit. And I was not okay.
But there's also like mirrors that will take away all of your gray hairs.
Wait, no, by the way, for context, I'm allergic to raw onion, listener.
Oh, okay. That makes a lot more sense. Yeah. I mean, it's also like kind of
it's
intense,
horrifying. Even before I was, because I love raw onion on stuff, and so being allergic to it is tragic now. Mm-hmm. But like, I on many levels was unhappy.
You were concernicus about
with that scene.
Yeah, but there's also like really important artifacts for like making war and defending whatever you need to defend. Mm-hmm. And so that is what holders, who are the lords and ladies who like have all the money, will pay the Artifactual Guild to either go in and speculate for artifacts or just buy the artifacts that have already been dug up.
So she's been learning about Old Prel and learning to read Old Prelian glyphs and everything for basically her whole life. This child was sad and alone.
And neglected.
And the only thing that brought her a modicum of joy in her lonely little life was learning about Old Prel. Mm-hmm. And so she is explaining to her lady's maid / best friend, essentially Gwenna, mm-hmm. what she needs to know to understand for guild purposes.
What we need to know.
Yeah, and she says, the Mancer Wars had shown everyone that personal magic, be it as a pyromancer, geomancer, or even necromancer, was unstable and corrupted the person using it. Because of the Mancer Wars, the king outlawed personal magic and established the king outlawed personal magic.
Uh-huh.
And established the holds amongst his lords. Old Prel was destroyed over 1,000 years ago, long before the Mancer Wars, but after the Mancer Wars, without magic, people didn't know how to protect their holds. Wars mm-hmm. broke out constantly, and the lords of the holds were unhappy because they felt they didn't have enough power to hold on to their lands. A man called Sparkanos was interested in ancient history, and he traveled to the ruins of Old Prel. 300 years ago, it was simply a cattle pasture. He dug into the earth and pulled up an orb with a word of power on it and brought it to the king. The nobles all wanted orbs of their own, and the ruins were overrun with thieves and vandals. Sparkanos and the king knew the flow of artifacts had to be controlled so it could be kept amongst the nobility, eat the rich. They walled off the caverns that led to the Everbelow and declared it owned by the Royal Artifactual Guild. And if anyone wished to hunt for artifacts to sell, they would have to join the guild.
Yep.
Again, eat those in power, eat the rich.
Yeah. So, okay. So it's really cool. There are a couple of cool things about the guild that Aspeth has really glommed onto. One of those is that, like, the originator, I think Sparkanos or whatever, touched an artifact that turned him into a swan. And so now every artificer that works with the guild and, like, joins the guild takes on a bird name and, like, you know, shucks their old identity. And so she is already calling herself Sparrow, and she wants to call Gwenna Chickadee. Gwenna is real pissed about this and refuses.
Gwenna's not fucking interested.
Not doing that, she says. Thank you very much. And there has been one in the history of the entire guild. There's been one woman who has joined, and she is like a legend because she's found more artifacts of power.
It's like she has a magic touch.
Yeah.
She just knows. She finds them where other people have been and found nothing, and then she pops down there and finds things.
Which I have questions about.
I do
after
too.
What we see toward the end of the book, but that's okay. I'm fine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's fine.
Anyway, her name is Magpie.
By the way, I would just like you to know, I need everybody to be aware, I'm saying this right now, I ship Gwenna and Raptor.
Gwenna and Hot. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Okay, Raptor. Okay, so listen. The next day is what's called Fledgling Day, where anybody who is interested shows up at the Royal Artifactual Guild and joins prospective groups that want to learn over the next year, apprentice, to become an artificer.
Yeah, and she shows up and it's a full-on sausage fest.
Oh my God. And they're like mean about it. Okay. It's not cool.
And
they're
gross.
making fun of her. Yeah. They're like trying to honk her butt. It's gross.
And then she gets pissed and she starts whacking bitches with umbrella. She's like, let me through. And then she does whack the wrong person, aka Raptor, a Minotaur. And there is about to be, in like 28 days, the Conquest Moon, which is once every 5 years. There's a specific moon that crosses a something. Winds eat the fuck out of it.
Sure.
But the important part is it gives Minotaurs knots, and they are rotten horny, and they are going, but they will fuck anything that move. And leading up to it, they're are
real on edge. Okay.
On edge.
Okay. It's yeah. So they are, and so they've been talking about, because it's Raptor and Hawk, 2 Minotaurs standing in the crowd trying to figure out if they can recruit any fledglings, because in addition to women, these men also sort of hate Minotaurs, but need Minotaurs just enough to give them the smallest modicum of respect. Like, just enough to keep them around, because they really need Minotaurs.
When dumbasses get lost in Old Prel, Taurians are the ones who go after them. Because they're just innately good. They have a great sense of direction. They're big. They're strong. All sorts of things, which that comes back, and they're sexy.
Hot. Yep. They do sex things at you.
This is the, like, oh no, I'm lost.
Oh no.
Again.
I have to use my rescue plan.
I have to use my rescue thing. It's like continuously hitting life alert and hoping that the one paramedic is the one who shows up, you know?
I know.
Not that I do that. That's that's an actual hypothetical, listener. Like, I'm a look behind the curtain usually when I say hypotheticals. It's hypothetical.
It may or may not be.
It may or may not be true. This is legitimately not accurate. I am not abusing the emergency alert system, I promise.
Right. And all you really need is a beacon that is trained to one Taurian, you know? Like, why can't we make it so that this Taurian is responsible for this orb?
I like that one.
Why not? Okay, anyway. So she shows up, she tries to whack Raptor, and he, like, turns around being like, who the fuck? And she ends up falling backwards into another Taurian named Hawk,
who grabs her, and he thinks to himself, she's interesting in the way unexpected things are. Her cheeks are flushed pink, and her clothing is well made, if drab, and she's fine, plump, and sturdy, and tall.
Yeah.
We have a tall lady listener.
When he loves
she nearly comes to his chin.
And he loves her, like, sturdy,
it's a
corseted
fine height
waist.
For a female, and the fact that she's built solidly makes me think about her in lascivious ways that are most definitely rut influenced. And cue one of my favorite micro tropes.
Yeah.
Her face is human, so I don't know if she's what they would consider pretty or not. But, and then describes all the things that he likes about her face. Like, I love when a fucking monster or alien is like, I don't know about this because I'm not a human, but also, like, I like those eyeballs. They're nice eyeballs, and that's
here's the thing, though. I think that makes more sense if the monster or alien hasn't lived in the society for their whole lives. You know what I mean? And we find out later that Hawk has been with human women before. So I feel like even if you don't, like, know what is in all the magazines or whatever, which is, I can't imagine it, then you would have your own opinions on her. It's fine. Anyway.
Hush.
I've left. I'm gone now.
I need you to take several seats.
Yeah,
otherwise, Zippy Zach will show you the door, and I'm finishing this book on my own.
Okay, so before she does her fall into him, they've been talking about, like, what their plans are for the Conquest Moon.
Horny Toad season?
Yeah, it's Horny Toad season. Yeah. This would be a great Horny Toad season book. Anyway, one of them is going to go back to their village because there's, like, widows who want to get down without any strings attached. You know, they're all leaving the city so that they can, like, go to larger Minotaur populations, which will understand things like the Conquest Moon, because it's also the only time that Minotaurs can breed. They need their knot for the sperms to wake up and be alive.
Have we explained why she's joining the guild? I can't remember.
No, we haven't.
Okay.
No. But Hawk is saying that he cannot leave the city. And he doesn't, like, before he has used the services of sex workers, but he ends up feeling, like, kind of shitty and, like, lonely afterwards. And so he doesn't really want to do that. But because his business partner is kind of a shit, he can't leave the city and, like, have everything run smoothly. So he knows he has to stay, and he's just going to have to suck it up. So Aspeth is there, and she's like, my name is Sparrow, and I'm here to join the guild, and you can put me with whatever 5 you want. I'm not picky, I'm just here. And Rooster, the, like, president of the guild or whatever, is like, oh, that's not going to be possible. We don't let vaginas in here. And it's great. This is when I really started seeing Aspeth's, like, personality, you know, because she ends up being like, well, cockerel, you know, that's ridiculous. You should let me do bloody blee. And then later on, and he's like, it's Rooster. And then later on, she's like, well, cock. And he's like, still Rooster. Mm-hmm. He gets so mad at her. But basically he says, we don't let girls into our club. Get the fuck out.
So she does. And she goes back to her room. And when she's back,
sobbing, she's crying. Because this is really important. Do you want to tell them why, Sabrina?
Yes. So
what a segue. Did you say professional segue?
So proud of you. This is also more perfect. Any listeners here who are new, this is unusual. Don't expect a hot segue like that usually. So basically, her dad has gambled away not only all of their finances, but all of their artifacts that aren't broken or completely used up. And so she's one of the only people that knows. Like, all of the people are basically, it's just like any other feudal system in the past where somebody was broke as hell, but they still have their guards and they still have all these people and they're all operating on, it's fine. Like,
on the reputation of the family.
Exactly.
Because Honori Hold is the very last one of the original 5 holds that were given out by the king 300 years ago.
Yes.
So they've got, like, street cred out the wazoo in the holder community. Everybody knows that her dad is, you know, he's definitely a gambler and he's irresponsible or whatever, but none of them have any clue about the depth and breadth of
their debt.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so what she's afraid of is that if anybody finds out their weak position, other holders will come, attack the hold, and then in order to make it so that nobody will contest them, like, adding that hold to their collection, that they'll kill everybody who lives there, including, like, the servants and anybody who has had an association with the family.
And she originally, before this, did have a fiance, Barnabas, who is part of Fuckwit Hold. And she broke off their engagement because using an artifact, she found out that he was literally, like, he made her think that he was actually interested in her because she didn't have a problem with marriage as a transaction, but he made her think that he was actually interested, actually in love, like this was going to be a love match kind of thing. And then she watched him and his friend and heard him talk about how
gross she is.
Gross and ugly and a spinster she is, and how he's only doing it to be get Honori Hold. And she knows the minute he married her and found out that they were as in debt as they are, he was going to have her killed so he could marry some other heiress. But, well, he's already got control of Honori Hold, so...
Yep, I guess he's the only heir now.
Yeah.
The secret is out. With millions of younger-looking customers across the country, Plexiderm is one of the most highly sought-after products on the market. It visibly shrinks under eye bags and smooths out crow's feet in minutes, and the effects last up to 10 hours. Influencers love it, Magazines feature it, and people just can't get enough of it. As a matter of fact, Elle Magazine gave it an Editor's Choice Award as Best Instant Wrinkle Filler for 2025. In as little as 10 minutes, Plexiderm reduces the appearance of fine lines, wrinkles, and those dreaded under-eye bags. So yes, you can look years younger in minutes, and the effects last for hours. No surgery, no gimmicks, just results. The best news, you can try Plexiderm for only $14.95. Plus, get free shipping. Don't wait. Order Plexiderm today. Visit plexiderm.com/special. That's plexiderm.com/special. Paid for by Sheer Science.
So she gets back to the room and Gwenna, like, she's distraught. And Gwenna's like, what happened? And she explains. And Gwenna says, tits. I knew they'd hate tits. And she's like, how could anyone hate tits? And she's like, they don't get to touch them. That makes them angry. To them, we're nothing but things to grope with no brains in our heads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True that, Gwenna. Nice work. So Gwenna's like, we need to find a side door into the hold. You went to the front door. It didn't work. We got to find a side door. And she's like, we could try seduction, you know? And Aspeth is so down because of this relationship that she had that she's like, I mean, seduction's a great idea for anybody but me. I couldn't possibly attract a man and all the things. And so they decide to go out and just like do some recon. And when they go down into the inn part of this hotel situation, they see this drunk as a skunk.
We meet the most irreverent human being named Lark.
Love her. Uh-huh. And she's drinking her face off, and she keeps on looking down at her beer and being like, I'm gonna miss you. I'm gonna miss you so much. And
because fledglings can't drink their first year. That's what they're like. Guild people in training before their test are called fledglings. And we find out Lark is about to be a fledgling because her aunt is Magpie.
Is a master guilder or whatever. Yeah. So she's like, it's fine. You just join my group. It'll be great.
We need people like, anyway.
Yeah, because they have to have a sacred 5. 5 is the number in this universe. So they're like, we already have another lady, me, there's a Slitherskin. And so if there's like, oh, there's a dude too, but I bet he's going to be gone. So if you two join, that makes 5. And then Gwenna goes, 6. She's like, nah, we're fine. It's fine. So they go back to her house because fledglings also live. Yeah.
I did just logistics.
Yeah.
In this kind of situation, this dangerous kind of situation, there's this idea of like the 5. And they're like, well, we only are supposed to have 5. Wouldn't you start?
Right.
With like 7 or 8 people?
Yeah. Absolutely, because if you drop out and you get below 5, you can no longer participate in any training whatsoever. Yeah. I would start with like 10. But we also learn that fledglings have the same exact prejudices as the guild members. So it was really hard for Hawk to recruit just the Slitherskin and like the one dude. And he's worried that the dude is going to flake out on them if he gets a better offer. And okay, so FYI, Magpie has been the only woman in the guild, and then there has never been a Slitherskin in the guild. So when they get there, they meet Hawk, who is the guild master's assistant, and he's the Taurian that she did fall into. Woo, she said in that crowded room. And he's like,
and when she walks in, when he sees her, he's like, absolutely not.
Yeah. I don't need anybody who's notorious already.
Well, and not only that, she's like, she starts spouting guild law at him, and he's like, excuse the flip-flop fuck out of me. Are you trying to learn me on guild law? And she's like, well, yes, I've been studying it my whole life, blah, blah, blah. And there's nothing that says women can't join. And he's like, where's your chaperone?
They can't join without a chaperone.
You have to have a chaperone. And she's like, okay, well, and Gwenna's like, she's mine.
Yep, that's my chaperone. And Magpie is Lark's chaperone. And then she's like, may I please speak to you in private, Sir Minotaur?
And then she does tromp her happy little butt off into what she thinks is a sitting room, but guess what? It is his bedroom. And he watches her walk away, and he thinks to himself, she's heading straight into my bedroom. Me, a Minotaur. A Minotaur on the brink of the conquest moon. Is she insane?
And like, yeah. Because in addition to all the other bullshit, she's also trying to do this blind because she wears spectacles.
But she refuses to wear her spectacles because they're a rich lady's accoutrement.
Yeah.
And so she's taken them off, and literally this entire book.
And she doesn't want them to know she has a weakness.
That too. Which, to be clear, it sounds like she and I are similar levels of not being able to see.
Same.
I have more of a weakness not having my spectacles on.
Oh, God. Yeah, of course. Of course.
I'm a liability.
Yeah. I went to Puerto Rico for work one time, and I decided to like tack on a couple of days just to hang out by myself. I did lose my one and only pair of glasses when a rogue wave came out of absolutely nowhere and bulldozed me into the ocean, and I could not find my glasses anymore. They were gone. Okay, the ocean ate them. And trying to get the next day, well, trying to do anything that day, real rough. But then trying to navigate the airport, because all I could see is just like shapes.
I can relate because I forget this every single time. My trip from England, I was flying back. I had barely slept this time around, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I did not take out my contacts like
an
idiot. And so I got off the plane and my contacts were so fucked and dry. And like I landed in Dallas, so I had a layover. I couldn't stop because like, well, maybe this is me being a neurotic mess.
Okay.
But I was like, I can't stop and like open up my bag before I get through customs because they're going to think like, I'm terrified they're not going to let me back into the country. Like, oh God, like, and I can't see anything because my contacts are so dry that my vision is worse at that point with my contacts in than it is with my contacts out and just nothing. And so I cannot see shit. I'm like running into things. I'm like trying to find stuff. So like I'll like blink, like make myself and this is more suspicious than anything. So, but what the fuck? Open up your goddamn bag and get your glasses, asshole.
Yeah, that's a really weird.
Because I'd like blink until I cried, which would moisten them enough that I could see a little bit if I squinted.
No.
And then I'd like point my face and like I'd go, and then I get, and this now is just turning into a story. I get to the fucking, I get to customs. They're like, do you have anything to declare? All of these things, blah, 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 blah. And like, oh my God, why am I like this? I get there and she's like, any drugs, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, no drugs. Wait, I do have Vyvanse. And she was like, is it prescribed? And I was like, yeah. And she's like, okay. And I was like, okay. And so like, then we get out. Apparently in Dallas, there's no like internal customs. You go through customs and you have to go back through security no matter what. To get back into the airport. And so I'm like,
it's not efficient at all.
Well, I can't see anything.
Yeah.
And when I did stop, I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm finally taking out my contacts and putting them on my glasses. Yeah. Security did come up. I sat down on like at the side of a hallway to like open up my bag and like dig around in it. And like, as I set it down to like go get something, this is past customs. I'm about to leave the airport. And they were like, man, what are you doing? And I was like, nothing. And then I was like, okay, going. I was like, I can't see anything. Like, whatever.
You could have just said, I'm switching my contacts to glasses, Sabrina.
I was so tired and sleep deprived. I couldn't. I just don't perceive me. Okay. Leave me the fuck alone. And so I was like, I made it out. And then I'm like across the street, basically. at the airport, like across from like departure or arrival, whatever. Like I've crossed the thing. I asked some guy on a Segway if he'd help me cross the street, and he was like, "What?" And I was like, "I can't see. I need assistance." And he was like, "Okay." So he helps me across the street. And then I did take out my contacts and put in my glasses, and I was just like, I just want to be home.
Oh my God, yeah. That moment in the trip where you're like one step away from home, but you're not there yet. Yeah. Oh God.
So anyway, I feel you on trying to traverse airports.
Yeah.
Not being able to see anything. Yeah.
I got back to New Jersey. It was so hard to find, like, where do bag go? You know, like, oh God, it was the worst.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay, so she's trying to do this, like, entire training when you're, like, in the dark and digging for artifacts. And she's trying to do all of this without spectacles. But before that, she needs to fix this chaperone problem. And so she's like, can you tell me more about the chaperone? Like, are there any requirements? Do they have to present a letter? What's going on? Because Aspeth is going to fix this. And he's like, no, listen, you don't even want to do this because our group is a shit show and it's going to fall apart in a month anyway. And she's like, why though? And he's like, well, I'm a Minotaur. And she's like, yes, why are you falling apart in a month then? And he's like, he explains the Conquest Moon.
Every 5 years, all Taurians go into season at the Conquest Moon. Our lives become about sex, about fucking, about taking a mate, about holding her down and pushing. He lifts his hands as if grabbing some unseen female and then just as quickly stops himself recovering. You get the idea.
Yeah,
and she, meanwhile, is like, right?
Yeah,
and
she can't
is
even handle
count?
it. Well, okay, and he's like, you seem like you're like a rich merchant's daughter or whatever, so I'm not gonna get arrested for telling some spoiled merchant's daughter filthy things. And she thinks to herself, oh God, tell me filthy things. Can you please tell me? And she's like, I'm a spinster, it's fine. Tell me everything. And then so she proposes that they get married. She will have a chaperone at that point, and he will have a rut partner.
Scream. I
know.
Scrumped.
Mm-hmm.
When I realized this was a marriage of convenience.
I know. And then he goes, and she says, all we have to do, we can do this exchange, and then if we find we don't suit afterwards, we'll just get divorced. And he goes, like, no, I have it. Thank you so much.
Melody takes highlights and notes once in a while, listeners.
Every once in a while?
Whipping it out of her steel trap of a goddamn brain.
Well, that's the other thing. It's a steel trap. Let me get a chance. So he says, divorce is a stain on a woman's reputation. And she says, so is being penniless, old, and ugly. And he's like, oh. And then he's like, you're not ugly. And then she's like, oh, wow, that almost compliment. Oh my God. Does he love me?
You are insane.
Yeah. So he agrees finally. And the next morning, they are going to get married. Gwenna is horrified. Gwenna's like, he has horns. And she goes, yeah, but I bet the rest of his anatomy is mostly normal, right?
But most importantly, before she goes to talk to Gwenna, he says to her, if you leave me high and dry on the Conquest Moon after all of this maneuvering, I'm going to hunt you down, Aspeth.
Yeah.
And she says, no one's going to be dry at all on the Conquest Moon. No dryness, just conquesting
or whatever it is.
Whatever
you want to do.
But I died at no one's going to be dry on the Conquest Moon. Anyway.
So the next morning, she gets dressed and she's had, like, they have a particular uniform that they have to wear. And he's given them a couple of, copies of this uniform. And so she, in the morning, is like, oh, I'm not going to wear that. I've had special garments made because I am a richy rich holder's daughter. And she's got, like, boots that have sparrows embroidered on them and, like, all the business. And so she gets down there and he's like, the fuck are you wearing? And she's trying to ask him about different things. Like, there's this portrait of who she thinks is Magpie. And she's so excited to meet Magpie because she's been, like, her idol for her whole life.
Don't meet your heroes. Listener.
No, don't meet your heroes. It's rough. So he's like, you are going to go change because every single fledgling wears the same uniform. She's like, I basically am. It's like, no, the same one, go. And so she has to get into this boxy thing that's too tight on her tits and flattens her beautiful ass out and is just like uncomfy and gross, and she hates it. But she does it. Then they go and they find a priestess to get them married. And the priestess is not kind about it at all. She's ignoring Hawk. I was going to say Holt. She's ignoring Hawk.
I have almost said Holt several times.
Several times. It's very hard.
Goliath of Wrestling, when I tell you that it literally it's taken over my whole ass brain.
Same.
Like, it's all
I wish I could make it my personality. I'm not cool enough.
I think it might be my personality, but in a try too hard kind of, right? Like I talk about a lot and people are like,
Nice.
Nice.
Okay. You can't actually sit with them. It's fine.
Yeah.
So anyway, she's like ignoring Hawk and she's telling Aspeth, like, if you're pregnant, like you can wait a few days until the goddess like loves weekends or whatever. So like come back on the weekend. And then finally she looks at this priestess dead in her discriminatory face. And she says, if I have to go another night without this virile buck in my bed, I shall scream. It has to be today.
Which brought me a lot of joy.
The secret is out. With millions of younger-looking customers across the country, Plexiderm is one of the most highly sought-after products on the market. It visibly shrinks under eye bags and smooths out crow's feet in minutes, and the effects last up to 10 hours. Influencers love it, magazines feature it, and people just can't get enough of it. As a matter of fact, Elle Magazine gave it an Editor's Choice Award as Best Instant Wrinkle Filler for 2025. In as little as 10 minutes, Plexiderm reduces the appearance of fine lines, wrinkles, and those dreaded under-eye bags. So yes, you can look years younger in minutes, and the effects last for hours. No surgery, no gimmicks, just results. The best news, you can try Plexiderm for only $14.95. Plus, get free shipping. Don't wait. Order Plexiderm today. Visit plexiderm.com/special. That's plexiderm.com/special. Paid for by Sheer Science.
So they end up getting married. They're like, the priestess is like, you don't have to kiss him. And she's like, oh, we're going to kiss. And she gives him a little smooch on his muzzle, which was adorable, on the leathery end of his nose. And then the priestess is like, you're going to have to go someplace else for the ring ceremony. And he's like, nope, it's fine. Human ceremony's just fine. And then
Point of order really quick. Go ahead.
After the priestess is gone, she's like, should I ask about the ring ceremony? And listener, he says, don't worry about it. But we find out the ring ceremony is when she fits a ring around his cock and balls to show that she owns me. And I pierce her cunt with a matching slightly smaller one to show my side of fealty.
Point of order. Really quick. Real quick. I don't know if you thought about the size that the bull's ring would have to be to fit his monster dong and two gigormous balls in there. But like, if I'm going by Morning Glory Milking Farm lore, each testicle is like an orange, okay? So like, it's gonna have to be,
this is a bangle.
10 inches in diameter?
This is a bangle.
It had, like, in order to not castrate him slowly, it's got to be at least like 10 inches. And so when he said the phrase, Sabrina, when he said the phrase, pierce her cunt with a slightly smaller ring, sir? Slightly?
Well, so he does mention, he says it's a tender ceremony. It also works a lot better with female Taurians who are as superbly wide as they are strong. It's got to be a little hoop.
It's got to be a tiny one, right?
Because he does talk about that tiny little hiding clitoris that she has.
Little clitoris.
Such a cute little clitoris hiding.
Who loves hiding.
So he's like, yeah, no, we're not going to worry about that. Also, very important note, because this was the cutest thing in the entire world. And then I realized that I also do it. And so I felt, I thought it was very cute. And then it did give me a moment of, is that cute for me too? Because you know when you notice on somebody else that something is super cute and then you register that you do it too and you're like, huh.
Interesting.
That's endearing on other people. But anyway, it's when he gets nervous, he tugs on his nose ring and I thought it was so cute because like you could always tell it. And like, boy,
you tug on that septum piercing.
I do. Like when I'm like, if I'm not, I tug on that septum piercing a lot. And I was like, not sure if it's cute as a human, but
I love it though. I'm into it.
It just made me happy because I thought it was cute that he did it. And then I was like, but wait.
Sabrina's so cute.
Am Sabrina cute?
So they now decide they have to go to fledgling day and they have to register. And then after this, they're getting like super made fun of. Magpie doesn't show up. And we find out from Hawk, it's because she is a major, major alcoholic who's like in the depths of her addiction.
She's like on the verge of losing her guildmaster status and everything that goes along with it. And we find out, I don't remember when we find it out, but we find out that the reason is she was in love with a Holder's son. And turns out she was waiting for him to propose to her, basically. And he was using her the entire time for artifacts. And it broke something in her.
And she hasn't found an artifact since then. She's just been finding the bottom of every bottle.
And then, but of note, this was so fucking funny. They're signing their names in the fledgling book, and she pauses, and she has to look at him and be like, wait, what's my last name? So it's time, right?
Yeah. And he's looking at 4 women and a Slitherskin. There is Aspeth, the Holder's daughter, and she says that she spent most of her time, sitting at tables with lush food in front of her, and it shows on her figure, okay? She's beautiful and plump. And then there's Gwenna, the former maid, who's like scrappy and great. There's Lark, Magpie's niece, who is like irreverent, but like there to get shit done. There's Merida, who is
Meriden.
Also Meriden. Yeah, Meriden. She's a Holder's daughter, but she was shipped off to a convent to be like a lady of silence, and she hated it. And so she decided to try this instead behind her dad's back, so she could get in trouble at any moment. And then there's Kip, the Slitherskin, who is sort of like going out on his own because he doesn't have a family anymore.
To me.
Yep, Kip is everything. He will refuse. He's so funny because Hawk, in every training session, he's like, please leave your house at home. Because he wears his house like a backpack kind of situation, but it's huge. And Kip very quietly just rebels.
Hard for me to picture Kip in his house.
I know, because he's also got stuff in there.
Yeah.
Is it like a Mary Poppins bag?
I don't know, because
is it like a Dr. Dolittle shell?
It is described that he sets it up in the kitchen and he lives in it. Like he crawls inside of it. I need fan art.
I would love that. Yeah, because he has to carry it too.
Miss Dixon.
Can you commission us some stuff, please?
Ruby Dixon.
Hello.
I have a lot of questions.
Yeah. Also, point of order, when I said the Dr. Dolittle shell, I do mean like the old movie, like the 60s movie, I think, not the Eddie Murphy version. I haven't seen the Eddie Murphy version, so I don't know if there's a shell that you can live in that one. Anyway.
I don't remember there being a shell. The last experience I have with Dr. Dolittle was me and my dad had fond nostalgic memories of watching that. And then we did put it on to watch with my very young siblings and went, oh my God.
The Eddie Murphy one?
Yeah.
The recent one?
No. Like
the original one?
The first Eddie Murphy one. Like the one that came out like 20 years ago. No, not
sure.
Is that Eddie? I don't know. It doesn't fucking matter. But the one that came out when like I was a kid and like I saw it as a child and then I was watching it with my father and my very young siblings and we were like, oh, these are quite
yeah, it's Eddie Murphy.
These are jokes.
Yep. Oh yeah, they're adult jokes. For sure. For sure.
We didn't finish it because we didn't need a 6-year-old repeating.
I've been a nasty girl.
Yeah.
I've been a nasty. Yeah. Yeah. Well, in the original one, there's this giant pink snail that takes them from like one continent to another, I think, at some point. And they live inside its beautiful shell as it goes like under the ocean. Yeah. And that is sort of the thing I'm imagining for Kip, but he's supposed to be like up to their shins, ? Up to their thighs, I mean.
Thighs. Mm-hmm.
So he's like smaller than them. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And anyway, so he has to get them in shape before anything. So the very first part of all of this training is him making them carry around backpacks full of rocks up and down basically San Francisco.
Yeah.
Nothing is a straight line. Not a straight line. Nothing is a level line.
You could really just leave it at nothing is a straight, and it tracks for San Francisco.
Yeah.
In like 4D.
That's fair.
So basically we get a training montage. There's like weapons practice, there's running around with rocks practice, and then importantly, there's sex practice because he's like, we need to prepare you for the conquest moon because I do have a whole ass tree trunk hanging off the front of me.
That then is going to have a knot added to it.
Mm-hmm. And we get this hilarious scene because now we get an only one bed. And he is explaining, she's so fucking tired. And he's like, maybe we should do like anatomy lessons. And she's quiet, which makes him think he needs to like keep talking because he's like, oh my God, I need to explain further. So it's like 4 pages of him just like rambling at her. And then she snores. And he's like, oh.
He's like, I'm sitting here trying to tell her about running her into the ground and filling her with my knot and like doing all these
he's
sexy
so
things.
horny about it too.
God, this poor guy. And then, but I love him because he's mad at first. And then he's like, wait a second, I ran her ragged today. Like, that's unreasonable of me.
Yeah. So we get a lot of really cute scenes. Like, she's too tired to give herself a bath. And so he fills it for her. And like, he's like, do you want me to rub your back? And it's so cute. But like, it's classic Ruby Dixon where it's just funny and witty and sincere. And so cute. And so he's giving her he gives her like a shoulder massage. And then boy howdy, she's like, tell me about that penis. And he does pull down his pants.
Right. So the first time he shows her, he's like, wow, she's like squinting over there. And she's like, I'm so sorry. Do you mind if I get a closer look? And he's like, yeah. He doesn't know she's fucking blind, basically.
She's basically nose deep in his balls. And then she looks at him and goes, I don't mean to alarm you, sir, but you're dripping. And he's like,
and he laughs and he's like, oh my God, I know, this is part of it. And so then over the next couple of days, she keeps on being like, okay, so you showed me yours. Do you need to see my body? Do you need to see all of my body? And he's like, I mean, I want to. And I think you know I want to. And so she's like, okay. And she starts to get undressed and she's so...
I would like to fuss about a not cha-ching.
Okay.
It was very blatantly discussed how good a Torian's sense of smell was. And it was never brought up him being able to smell her arousal even with her standing across a room. And I was unpleased.
You were displeased.
Yes.
She was upset, if you will.
I was waiting for it. I was like, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. And then it kind of happens because he can smell her, but it's not her arousal.
I know.
He sniffs her out like a bloodhound. But not because she's horny. Anyway,
she's like, do you want me to sit or stand? And he's like, whatever makes you comfortable. And then she says, I want to make a joke here about do your worst when it comes to criticisms of my body, but I have to tell you up front that I am an absolute ninny about my body. And so if you do have any critiques, please just keep them to yourself. And he's really taken aback. And he's like, as if I would even think it, let alone say anything to her.
And then she does lay down on the bed, fully naked, in just blatant corpse pose.
Yeah.
Arms crossed over, eyes shut real tight. He's like, And so he does give her a foot massage, and then he like,
says, "Can I touch you, wife?"
Mm-hmm. And he tells her, he's like, "It's fine. You're fine. We're just a naked married couple in our room together. There's nothing to be nervous about." Mm-hmm. And she says, you're beautiful. You're covered in muscle. I don't think I have a single one. And then he says, "I'm pretty sure I spotted one, at least one," and starts kissing up her calf.
Yeah.
An ankle. And then he's like looking at her and just thinking about how much he likes that she's clearly been coddled and pampered because she's so like soft. He loves the idea of cuddling up to her pillowy softness.
Yeah.
And he asks her, "Is this all right?" as he runs his muzzle against her soft skin. And she's like, "I'm fine. This is fine.
Stuff's great.
Fine."
Yep.
And then he
snuffles right into her cunt, Sabrina.
Well, this is very important to me. He says,
okay,
"I wanted you to touch me the other day. All you did was look."
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Aspeth breathes. "I wasn't bold enough yet. Not yet." And he says, "I'm bold. Can I touch you?" And she says yes. And then we do get...
He snurfles her cunt
go down
into oblivion. And she's really surprised because she was thinking he was going to touch her with his hands. And he says, "You got to be more specific next time, wife." As he's just licking up her slit.
The thing with Taurians, we have long, mobile, thick tongues. I can lick my own eyebrows if I'm so inclined, and human men can't compete with a Taurian who knows how to use what he's got.
Ooh.
Kissing be damned, I've got better things to do with my mouth.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah, it was wonderful.
The secret is out. With millions of younger-looking customers across the country, Plexiderm is one of the most highly sought-after products on the market. It visibly shrinks under-eye bags and smooths out crow's feet in minutes, and the effects last up to 10 hours. Influencers love it, magazines feature it, and people just can't get enough of it. As a matter of fact, Elle Magazine gave it an Editor's Choice Award as Best Instant Wrinkle Filler for 2025. In as little as 10 minutes, Plexiderm reduces the appearance of fine lines, wrinkles, and those dreaded under-eye bags. So yes, you can look years younger in minutes, and the effects last for hours. No surgery, no gimmicks, just results. The best news, you can try Plexiderm for only $14.95. Plus, get free shipping. Don't wait, order Plexiderm today. Visit plexiderm.com/special. That's plexiderm.com/special. Paid for by Sheer Science.
So he ends up going down on her and then like rutting into the side of the bed at the same time until he sprays everywhere, it says.
Mm-hmm.
And
by the way, the audiobook for this
so good.
Is incredible.
It's so good. It's perfect, actually. So then we get like more training montage because he has to go into the ruins to rescue a bunch of people, and Magpie is still MIA.
Mm-hmm.
And so as a result, he has to sort of like pawn them off to other guild teachers, and none of them want to have any vaginas or tits around them. And like scales, how could you possibly? But one does, Master Crow. So we spend like a couple of chapters being like at an obstacle course that's terrible.
It's because he owes Hawk a favor.
Yeah.
That's the only reason he's willing to teach those fledglings.
Yeah, absolutely. But he spends most of the time just coming up with ways to humiliate them on a muddy obstacle course. Mm-hmm. And it's awful, and they're like really, really down, and they're feeling really abandoned by Hawk, even though they know he's on a rescue mission. And then the next day, they think they're going to have to report to this fucking obstacle course again. But instead, they get called into the guild to to be tested on fake artifacts, even though they've never even seen a real one, let alone a fake one, and they haven't been taught anything. So they're going up to compete against Master Crow's group of fledglings, and all of them are what's called repeaters. So a repeater is someone who's gone through the training, not passed the final test, and then has sort of worked for the guild until they are accepted to train again. So all of these people have experienced artifacts, real and false. Anyway, this is Aspeth's time to shine.
Yeah, because she reads old Prel glyphs.
Yeah. And so she's like, let me go first. And everybody's like, why? What's going on? And Gwenna's just, I love Gwenna because she's like, there are no time for questions. Just believe her. Or she's just cool it. And everybody's like, I guess. So she goes up and she spends a lot of time looking and picking things up and reading the glyphs on the bottom. And finally, they're like, hey, should we put a timer on you? Like, what's going on? She's like, oh, no. I'll pick something. And she picks up an artifact and then brings it back. And then Lark goes out to get hers. So she's able to tell everybody else, don't pick anything that's bright yellow. And that's all you need to know for sure. Because she knows a bunch of shit about old Prel, not only reading the glyphs, but like the types of dyes they used and stuff like that. Basically what happens is that every single time she picks a correct artifact, and there's 2 other instances on her team when somebody else picked a correct artifact. So they think that they're tied because in the last round, they say that her team has no artifacts. And she's like, whoa, no, please look at mine again, because you said that even if they were discharged, even if they were like no longer usable because they'd already had all of their magic used up, that it was still a thing. And they're like, yeah, but you don't have one and you're being a sore loser and kind of a bitch. So like, wow, you are the worst. And she's like, no, please just look at the goddamn artifact and see again. And the actual archivist, okay, because this is when we learn something that I Sherlock Holmes hard, okay?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
We meet somebody who has her actual dream job, okay? Yeah. They don't have to go into the tunnels. They don't have to do any of like the physical stuff or the scary stuff. They get to look at all the artifacts and confirm whether they are real and like study them and do all the business, and it's the coolest.
Well, and like part of what helped me Sherlock Holmes this whole thing was at the very beginning of the book, Gwenna's like, oh, so we're gonna go be grave robbers, and she's like, no, we're not. And I was like, she's gonna have a awakening at some point in this book and feel heinous about what she's doing.
Absolutely.
And also then this came in and I was like, bitch is gonna be an archivist.
Yeah. So the archivist looks at it and confirms it. It's like, oh shit, I was wrong. This is the real one. And then they're like, the rest of the day is canceled. Like, you didn't win because you still suck. And like, we're not doing anything else, because they have to use the rest of the day to interrogate her on whether she's like a Holder spy or a forger, you know, that's sent in to steal artifacts or whatever. And so everybody else is forced to leave and she has to stay there. So then the next chapter is hours and hours later. Hawk gets back from his rescue mission, which was like unnecessary and stupid because they keep on passing humans who like don't know anything about the tunnels still. And oh no, this time it was because they ate magic mushrooms that they found down there. What
it's a miracle it's commented on this in the book, but it's a miracle that any of these people survive down there, and it's because of the Taurians that they do. And so when he gets back, they're like, you need to go save her, because Magpie is in the process of like drunken hungoverly putting on guild uniform to go
She's
save. She's
currently stuck in her shirt because she can't function.
And he's like, okay, fuck that. And so he does go get her.
So when he arrives to go and pick her up, he speaks with the guy that is like the head of, the McCarthy committee of this world or whatever. And so the guy's like, hey, I would love to know some more information. When did you marry? And Hawk is being a little bit guarded about it. And he's like, recently. And he's like, well, did she propose the marriage or did you? And Hawk lies and he said, I did, because he wants to, reduce the suspicion so he can actually figure out what's going on. And so he looks at him and he's like, Hawk, I think that she might be a Holder spy or a really, really talented forger. And I think that she's here for nefarious purposes. And so Hawk is like, okay, if you want like my real serious opinion, she's not. Like, if they were going to send in a spy, she would be good at all the baseline stuff. Mm-hmm. But like, she can't keep up in the training, and she's not in good enough shape for her to like fly under the radar to be a spy. And the guy's like, okay, I guess. And then he's like, listen, I will keep an eye on her. And if I see anything weird, of course, I will come to you immediately. And that sort of pacifies this guy, and he can go get her. This is when he finds out that she reads Prelian glyphs because she was a lonely child who, like, you know, studied all the time. And he says, wait a second, it would take years to learn Prelian glyphs. And she goes, it's even longer. It's like double that when you don't have a tutor.
Uh-huh.
But then she finally did get a tutor, and he starts
putting together some things about her.
Yeah.
This is when Magpie takes over training, and Magpie is relentless. She is a nightmare monster of a trainer, and they go camping.
Ugh.
And it's a whole thing. But we get a lot of really cute scenes of them in the tent together, and everybody, like, her realizing she has friends for the first time in her life.
Yeah.
We also learn about his history. So the reason he's still with Magpie at all is because she basically saved his life. It's very common for young Taurian males to leave home when they're very young, and so he left He left at 12, and he ended up in Vastwarren, and she gave him a chance because she has a history as a guild master of taking on, like, the misfits.
Yeah.
And so because of her, he became a artificer. And then when he was with his 5 at some point, there was a cave-in, and he got stuck, and they all left him. Like, understandably, he understands why they left him because there was no saving him.
Yeah.
Supposedly. But Magpie and her fledgling team came and saved him, and she pulled some strings and got him a replacement artifact hand.
He lost a hand down there.
Yeah, and like he's still paying the guild back for it, so he needs the money. Magpie saved his life. Like, he feels like he owes her.
Magpie had his back when he was at his lowest. And now he feels like he's beholden to her no matter how long her rock bottom lasts.
Well, there's also on top of that, though, nobody else will take him on, and he needs the money from guild stuff to pay back his hand. Like, he is stuck between, like, he doesn't want to leave her, but also nobody else will take him.
I didn't get that impression at all. Because he literally
he says it.
Does he?
Yeah.
Oh, like as a teacher.
Yeah, like he won't be able to pay back the guild. And if he leaves the guild without
paying for it,
paying back his hand, they take the hand back.
Yeah. No, I'm sorry. I meant that later on, she says, like, any 5 will accept you, no matter, like, they love you. But he won't be able to make enough money as just a regular artificer because they tithe 25% of their earnings to the guild master that they came from. And that's one of the reasons that they're in such a financial bind at the moment, because they haven't had anybody graduate in years. Like, years. Because Magpie is so bad at this. So when they're finally, like, it's been like 4 days and we've seen adorableness between both of them, and they're at this creek because she keeps on forcing them to just march up and down a muddy creek. In the mud. Tied together. And finally, Aspeth loses her goddamn mind. And she's like, this is ridiculous. Like, there's gotta be a better way, a better environment to teach us how to survive in a fucking cavern. Like, why can't we go to a basement somewhere? And then they start fighting. she and Hawk. And he's like, oh, I'm so sorry, fledgling. You think that you're better at our jobs than we are? You're not here to think. You're here to learn. And then she's like, oh, well, this is, ridiculous and everything else. And you're not here to think. You're here to teach. And they're going at each other. And everybody else is like, he says, you know what? If you were a man, I would put you over my knee and spank you because you're acting like a child. And she's like, I dare you to put me over your knee and spank me. And then Lark is standing on the side and she goes, I think I speak for everyone here when I say, what the fuck? What's
we also, listener, we get a scene during like horny times in the tent where he is telling her, like he's fingering her and showing her just how good that artifact hand is. And boy, it's horny. He's like, you're going to be twice as wet as this. And I'm going to like, it's also that I can stretch you to take my knot. And I was like, sir, say more. Keep going.
Please.
Keep going.
Well, and like at another point, he accidentally injures her and she tries to like go off and take some space because she's hurt. And he follows her to be like, oh, I need to look at your beautiful tiny hand. And like, did I hurt you? And what happened? And she's like, you've done worse accidentally to the other ones. And he's like, I'm not married to those fledglings. I should be teaching you about pleasure, not hurting you. And then he fingers her against a tree.
Hurt.
Yep.
Oh, and there was one point where she says, have you ever found something you wished you could keep? And he thinks to himself, you. The foolish thought bubbles up and I push it away. Ours is a marriage of convenience and nothing more.
Nothing more. Nobody wants more.
So then Barnabas shows up, he and his peeps.
When they're fighting. Their fight gets broken up because these guys ride up.
Yeah. And she is basically hiding her face and she succeeds. And then he's gone. And she's like, oh, thank God I got away from Barnabas. But then they get back to town.
Yeah.
And Hawk goes on another retrieval mission. And then she gets a letter saying, meet me at this place. Don't bring anybody.
And it's not signed, but she knows who it's from.
Yeah.
This is where we're gonna leave you. Thank you for hanging with us. We'll see you tomorrow for part 2.
Heaving Bosoms is produced by us, Melody Carlisle and Sabrina Bradley. Editing is done by me, Melody Carlisle. Our theme music is by the incredible singer-songwriter Brittany Fonts, and our art is by the ultra-talented author Kate Pryor. If you like our show, remember to follow us on your favorite podcast app, rate us 5 stars, and leave a review. That one small action is a huge way to help the show. If you want to get in touch with us for advertising inquiries or anything else, you can email us at heavingbosomspodcast@gmail.com. If you want more of us, visit patreon.com/heavingbosomspodcast. You can also find us on Instagram at Heaving Bosoms, on TikTok at Heaving_Bosoms, and in our Facebook group, the Heaving Bosoms Geriatric Friendship Cult.
See you tomorrow.